Hello, my name is Sue, and today I would like to introduce you to my friend and everyday legend, Carl Calkins.
Mom would read stories on postcards about this beautiful line of tall trees, and it's a miracle God sent me here because I had no connection to Oregon outside of the postcards. I was born on Mother's Day, 1934. I was treated differently than my sister because every time my birthday came, it was all about me, or when Mother's Day came, it was all about me. She had the special cake all her life with white frosting. And it was a white cake. It was made out of egg whites. And nobody's been able to duplicate it. I was born during the middle of the Great Depression, so everything was bad. My mother's family owned a hotel. They lost the hotel. They owned a French and German bakery, and they lost that. Grandma died of a stroke at 48. Grandpa started driving cars from Detroit, Michigan to Portland, Oregon, and he would send postcards back about this beautiful land. I remember all the postcards Grandpa sent me from. My mom would read them to me as she sat on the bathtub reading Bible stories and postcards from Grandpa. My friend and I, being in the city, we worked hard. At 10 years old, we started saving money, shoveling snow, mowing lawns. I had a newspaper route. My dad made me quit. It was a shopping news for all the local big department stores, and you couldn't deliver them on a bike just by walking. I would walk for like 3 hours at night, and my dad would come looking for me at night. And they'd see me, he said, "That's it, you cost more for shoes than walking around." Then I went to work for Kroger's, 75 cents an hour. I was about 13 at the time. Had to get a working permit, and I started out in a really old Kroger store. It had a wooden floor. It was the beginning of Jimmy Hoffa times when he started the United Grocers Association. And he would come up and pat me on the back and ask me, "How do you like working for the union, son?" And I just smiled, and I worked, and by the time I was 15, my dad didn't have any patience to teach me how to drive a car, so I said I'll learn on my own. With my mom and I went out and bought a brand new car, paid cash for it, $1,800 for a brand new 51 Ram. I was driving girls to school. I ended up with so many girls in a car, it broke the frame. The wheels wouldn't line up. So I took them in, and they looked up on the frame on the passenger side, a big rust spot down. So they welded the frame up. So I bought a brand new 53 Studebaker. And my other friend, that was a couple years older than me, bought a brand new 53. It was a Commander. Mine was a Champion. It was 6-cylinder. Then the Korean War came, and he had to go to war. He got drafted. So I ended up with 2 Studebakers. Rationing started. Everybody in the family got a ration book. I remember selling war bonds at school for the war. They collected newspapers. They collected fat, all your fat from the bacon, grease you took to the meat counter at the store. And I didn't find out later this year what it was used to making ammunition during those war years. As a young kid, neighbor was across the street. I had a lot of friends. David and I. One day we were playing catch, and a green car pulled up. 2 Marines got out. They walked up to his home, his house, his residence, and I can hear his mother crying from her son was killed in action in France. He was 20 years old. Those stories still hit me. I was a troublemaker. The police said I was. I got caught shooting a BB gun in the city limits. They said, "You're going to be in trouble to youth." So they said, "Bring your dad down to the police station in Detroit." 314 was the police station. Anyways, I got down there and said, "Since your son's going to be a troubled youth, you need to join our Boy Scouts." So I joined the Boy Scouts. And boy, those policemen were just so great. They took us to the shooting range. They got to shoot their 45s, their rifles. They shot everything. They took us on week vacations up in northern Michigan, fishing trips. We got to do everything. And Mr. Peebles was there, and Mr. Latz was a patrolman. Anyways, one day in 1949, it was around July, or it was actually August. So they called our troop out. We searched a big, wide, heavily wooded area, and I found this guy whose name is Arthur Mayer, who's this little girl's uncle. Anyways, he had a 22 laying across his chest like this, and in his pocket right here was a little spiral notebook, and it had a map to where he buried his niece. And I went over and found her. They left Detroit, the east side of Detroit, and for a whole week they were missing. They never got to the other side of Detroit, the west side where I live, and they hid all the papers. Then the papers came, and the Times came too. They wanted to get the story, and then I have a citation from the mayor, the scout leader Carl Calkins, solved the murder of Barbara Jean Aberl. And to this day, I tried to put a memorial or a thing on her grave. She don't have a grave marker. All she has is a bronze serial number. So you have to get property that I can go ahead and put a monument. But I haven't been able to hook anybody because everybody's gone. Mom and dad, the brothers and sisters are all gone. There's just a little brass marker. I got a picture of it. I have her name on that grave. It doesn't have a name, but a serial number. But love from Boy Scout troops, 314. Exactly. And to this day, I think this little 9-year-old girl, she didn't live a life like I did, a long life. She was a pretty little girl. Until you live a long life like me, it's special. And I think of her quite often. It doesn't pay to keep your heart to yourself. I was in one movie one time, hour. Yeah. Car 54, where are you? I was riding in the police car, the other guy was driving, and the scenery's all moving like they're traveling. So we're doing this here, and we had to go to Al's bar, break up a fight. Picked me out and said, you fit good, and they dressed me up real quick. The last week before I went in the Navy, went to fishing with my dad, mom and dad up to Lake Superior. Got seasick, and here I'm going in the Navy. When I joined the Navy, I went overseas at boot camp, and I became an electrician. I was out of San Diego on an aircraft carrier. 2 years at sea on nuclear tests. We traveled all over the Far East, 120 degrees, and our ship had saltwater showers. At times we needed fresh water to run the ship. It was an old carrier. So I decided to put in for shore duty. I got 3 choices: Long Beach, San Diego, Astoria, Oregon. So they sent me to Astoria, Oregon. So now I started living my grandpa's legacy. I brought a magazine with me from San Diego, and I was reading it while I was in Astoria. Stars and Stripes was a magazine. It had a pen pal section in it. It had this girl's name. When I came up to Astoria, I started reading it, and I seen this name in it, and I wrote her a letter. It wasn't far from here. It was in Cornelius, just outside of Cornelius. Her dad was pastor at Trinity Zion Church. And she says, why don't you come and see me? So I drove my Model A from Astoria, and I met her on the front steps of the parsonage. She says, well, come on in, I'm doing dishes right now. So I went in and started drying dishes. And that night we went to a youth group meeting at Trinity Church in Hillsboro. that night, it's getting around 10 o'clock, so I had to get back to Astoria. I started walking out to the car, and she says, wait a minute. So she threw her arms around me and gave me a big kiss. And I was a drunk driver all the way back to Astoria. So my father-in-law transferred to Reedsport, Oregon. So now it's 200 miles each way. So every weekend I hitchhiked. It was a wonderful time. The best people. They gave me hugs and everything. I really had a good time. And so it didn't take a while, short while longer. And I said, why don't we just get married? So we got married. My wife's sister got married on one Sunday, and we got married on the next Sunday in May. We're married for 67 years. I go to the funeral, the cemetery every Sunday after church. I open my heart up. I went to the Hillsboro Cancer Center several times a week when they had the flowers give out, and I would take flowers there. Now if I get flowers, I take them to the Cornell Estates and some other place. There's a lot of pictures in here. It's all about my grandchildren and my wife. I would take them hunting. I love nature, and I taught them not to love nature. I have pictures of my oldest grandson and his sister walking behind me as we're camouflaged through the woods. And they're always camouflaged up, just like I am. And he said, Grandpa, can you show me how to whittle? So I gave him my hunting knife, and he sat on this log and he started whittling. I love the beach. I take pictures of the pollution on the beach. In my hobby of metal detecting and spending lots of time on the beach walking in my grandpa's footsteps, I decided every time there's always broken bottles and campsites all over. People think so they go down over their pets. They're supposed to carry plastic bags. Yeah, they carry special bags, all right, but they bury them in the sand. So when the storms come, they're floating up and down, poop all over the place. I've taken plenty of pictures. I've been before the legislature trying to ban glass on the beach. And it's all protected by public special interest groups. They don't want it banned because it's happy hour for them. And to this day, I haven't been able to take the beach. So now I feel it's up to go to the schools to have young people protect their beach. And I have lots of information, lots of pictures. The weekends are really tough. In all my life, I've always been a shy person. But when I came here, I opened up. I have so many friends. So I thank the Senior Center for all the friendship and everything and the classes they give. Now I can tell the rest of the beginning of the story.